You know it's super fly when Day Bar is opened. Hip-hop review, news, plus breaking new artists, pop culture, current events with an urban view of it. This is all things hip-hop, delivered raw, unpolitically correct, the fans' perspective, putting all artists in check. Dope content, current hot by remarkable men. Our thoughts, clearly. Welcome to Audio Theory.
Yo, welcome back to the Audio Theory podcast. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button as well as the like button. And if you want to jump ahead to the episode topics, check out the description box. What's good, Danny? How have you been?
Dude, feeling phenomenal, man. Life is good right now. Cannot complain. The Knicks, seem you repping hard today. The Knicks are officially in the playoffs for the first time in 8 years. Didn't have to do a play-in thing. So feel good about that. And honestly, this was the first time, and I think, bro, no exaggeration, 3 full months that I did nothing for an entire 3-day stretch span. Like this weekend, bro, I had friends come over for like a quick, like, hey, let's have dinner. And then like they left. And I had my nephew come over for like an hour and a half to have a barbecue. Then he left. And I honestly, for the majority of the weekend, it was just me, myself, and I. And bro, like there's so much happiness that just comes from like sitting down and doing nothing. Like there even was a moment downstairs where I legit like turned the TV off and I'm like, yo, put the music on mute and just sit, bro. Like don't even like have a distraction. Don't be on your phone. Just be like, and bro, like I feel like the most rejuvenated I ever felt in my life, which is good. I'm going to fucking Cancun in 3 days. So I'm going to be miserable by the end of that trip. But like right now I feel really good, bro. So I'm happy about that. How about you, man?
Nice. And real quick, was that by design? Like were you on purpose?
Oh, purposely, dog. Purposely. Like, yo, I after you left, and I got back from New York, I had my first therapy session of the month, and I was like telling her, like, yo, I just feel fucking drained, like, blah, blah, blah. And then we broke down, like, you know, what's been happening these last 2 or 3 months. Like, you know, I had the housewarming, then traveling, then my mom's, you know, Mother's Day was fucking emotional. So, bro, like, she's like, yo, you need to set boundaries, dog. So I was like, yo, like I had a friend hit me up on Saturday morning, like, yo, let's go out tonight. I want to fucking rage. And I was like, no. Like, bro, like, no. Like, I love you, dog. Like, any other weekend, I'm about it, but not happening, bro. So, yeah, I think everyone just has to be diligent because I'm such a giver. Like, I mean, you know me for like 4 years now, bro. Like, I'm such a like people pleaser. And then at some point, like, you could only give people so much because you don't have anything left. So I needed this like 3 days, just like, all right, I'm like as close to whole again. I can, you know, go back to being my normal, you know, Danny self.
Nice. That's dope. Yeah, you definitely need those days or even sometimes a couple weeks to like just disconnect and like not do anything. My situation was kind of the opposite. So my girl's actually visiting her friend in New York right now.
Very dope.
So one of my friends who does live in the Bay, I went down to his area. So we got some food with a couple other people at this Korean spot. And then after we went to, I want to say San Jose to go out. So we went out to that area.
Not too far from you though, right?
Not too far. I mean, it is like an hour drive.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. Okay.
So I ended up sleeping at one of my friend's places out there. But long story short, we went to a couple different bars. The first bar we went to so we signed up or put our reservation down for this one dope bar that we used to go to. Not used to go to. I went there once for my friend's like wedding celebration. So we put our name down. They're like, all right, you got like 30 minutes before we call you back. So we went down to the end looking for a bar that was open.
Just grab a drink and come back?
Yeah. And when we go in, my friend's like, he's like, yo, I think this is a gay bar. And I was like for real? Because it didn't seem like raunchy or they weren't playing fucking, I don't know, Kesha or some shit. but I looked at the logo and it's called Splash. And like the logo had like a rainbow flag.
Oh,
like, okay, obviously it's a gay bar, but like we weren't like afraid or anything. We were with his wife and then our boy. So we went upstairs. Of course, like 2 seconds after we sit down, this dude basically, I don't know if I could say he was hitting on our friend, but he definitely introduced himself, clearly gay, like the most flamboyant dude ever.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we just kept it cordial, introduced ourselves and stuff. And then my boy's, I guess, looking across the way and these 2 girls are like eyeing him. So my friend's wife's like, oh, go talk to them. So our boy goes over to these 2 girls and then we end up like leaving, or he leaves with them to like
nice.
a different bar. And long story short, we ended up kicking it with them for most of the night. These two girls were super trashed, like, and had the most annoying, obnoxious laugh I've probably ever heard in my whole life.
Really?
He didn't end up taking it like further than
just drinks or whatever.
Yeah, drinks. I think they made out, maybe did some other shit in the car, but it was a very, very interesting night.
Nice. But what's the vibe in San Jose or even in the Bay? Like, is like, because I know the CDC is being pretty aggressive of like, yo, if things are like, if you're vaccinated, pretty much just go do whatever the fuck you want. Is California taking that to heart, or they still have kind of aggressive like COVID rules?
From what I remember, we still had to wear a mask, but pretty much like once you're in, it was similar to Florida, maybe not as like loose, but like you just had to like actively be drinking, or at least pretending like you're still drinking.
Sure.
But you had to wear a mask to get in. Of course, when you're ordering at the bar, you have to wear a mask. But other than that, it was pretty lenient.
Nice.
Walking around, it seemed very optional, like as far as
because you're outside, right? Like it's yeah.
So I feel it was one of those instances where I was like, okay, things are opening up a lot. Actually, so the first night, I totally forgot. Hung out with a different friend. We went to a bar in San Francisco. That shit was like, the dude at the door was like, "Are you vaccinated?" I was like, "Yeah." I walked in.
I love how they ask you that, but don't ask you to prove it.
Right. Yeah, that was wild. I was just like, "Yeah, I am." I didn't tell him I only had one dose, but I was like,
right, like it was like, yeah, sure. Like, what the fuck?
Apparently, they were like, "Oh, you have to order food in order to get drinks," but we ended up never doing that.
Okay, that was pretty common in New York when I was there.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, yeah, they like, we were at the bar and they're like, "All right, what are you ordering to eat?" I'm like, "I mean, I'm not hungry." It was like, "Well, you can't eat, you can't drink here if you don't order at least some fucking fries." I'm like, "All right."
Yep. So I arrived at around 10. The night was pretty slow. I was kind of worried because there was only like 4 other people in there. I was like, man, this shit's lame. And then towards the end of the night, like 12:30, it was pretty packed. There's probably like a good 30, 40 people in there. Pretty good music. Again, like most people I didn't see wearing masks. So I think it's definitely getting to the point where it's going to be like every other state.
That's sick though, especially because like, you know, it's not really even summer yet. You know what I mean? So it's at least the idea of like, you know, our summer may be back to normal regardless. Mm-hmm. Like you don't have to be in Miami to have a good time this summer, which is, or Arizona or like Nevada, which is dope.
Right.
So
right.
That's exciting, bro. So yeah, hopefully I can plan a trip out there soon then, and it'll just be kind of like back to normal. For sure. But yo, I'm actually leaning towards getting the vaccine very soon. Not only this is crazy, but it's not because like, I want to, you know, take care of my family or work. It's literally because, you know, my basketball league is getting started again. And I'm like, bro, that's reckless of me to go like not be vaccinated and then be playing with dudes who are like going to be this,
and sweating.
Yeah. I'm like, breath. Bro, I'm asking like, even if like God willing, I have the best immune system known to man, like you're asking for it, bro, because you may catch it and you have no symptoms and you catch it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to just be the guy passing around like that. So, because I've actually been like not playing basketball at all because I'm like, yo, it's just too much close proximity. But it's my league that I've been doing for the past 4 years. I'm like, bro, I'm not going to miss. I've been dying to play ball like in this league for the past 1.5 years. So yeah, I'm going to get vaccinated when I get back from Cancun next week or at some point in early June. So yeah, when I go back to see the family in June and, you know, July, whatever, like I'm not even going to be thinking about it anymore. And I know like Europe is like pretty much saying that like, if you're not vaccinated, you're not going to be allowed in the country. So I'm not saying I'm going to Europe this year, but I don't want to be told like I can't, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Especially because I got to connect now with American Airlines. I don't got to worry about, you know, paying for crazy flights. So like, bro, like why not just go to fucking, you know, London for the weekend? Cause I can't. So,
right.
So yeah, your boy will be vaccinated just like you. How are you feeling though, by the way? Like, I know you're still waiting for your second shot, but like, did you ever have any effects? Like, did you have a day where you're like, oh, fuck this?
No, Sunday's my second one. So this coming Sunday in like 6 days, didn't have any effects. I didn't want to like say anything until like 3 days passed because I didn't want to jinx myself.
Right.
Wake up in the middle of the night with like vomit all over myself. But yeah, didn't suffer any effects that time. Kind of nervous because I feel like I haven't really heard of any stories of absolutely no side effects at all for 2 doses. So
Yeah, I
I'm
feel like
worried that
everyone says the 24 hours after the second shot are the worst.
Yeah.
So it's almost like just deal with that and you'll be okay.
Yeah. Thankfully, I think I have a pretty light work day this coming Monday, so we'll see.
Nice.
Probably notify my boss ahead of time just in case, but looking forward to just being over with it. Even though I already had COVID, I just don't want people judging me. I don't want to get somebody sick. I don't
same, bro. Like
an airline denying me. I just want to get this shit over with.
That and like, bro, you see again, like that's like the shit about I hate about social media. Like it's just like it makes you feel like a certain way all the time. Like like I get it. Like people like again, especially because I have like friends and family still in India. Like people are dying there, bro. Like by this second in insane amount of numbers. And it was like a meme of like a side by side, like an American woman saying, "Well, I'm not getting vaxxed, so we have more information." And then it's like a dying Indian woman saying, "Well, let me have her vax." And you're like, damn, bro, like I don't like, am I fucking up right now? Like I just, you know what I mean? So I was like, bro, let me just get this shit so I can not, because at some point it does start fuck with you, bro. Like, yeah, you like when we were out with my friends that were visiting, when you were here, like we were the only ones not vaxxed at the table. So they're like, well, why don't you want to do it? And I'm like, bro, I explained every fucking time that like,
right.
So yeah, like, but again, it is funny though, like, I hope that it's not like down the road because these rules are stupid, bro. Like the same way that bouncer was like, "Are you vaccinated?" You're like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, go." Like, bro, like, because all these rules are like, if you're vaccinated, no mask for you, and if you're not, wear a mask. It's like, bro, but what if I'm not vaxxed and I don't want to wear a mask either? Like, what? Like, how the fuck are you gonna like? Like, I don't want this shit to be something like, not to be fucking over dramatic, but like some like Holocaust shit where you have to start wearing like your fucking COVID vaccine thing like on your jacket so people know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's fucking wild to me. But like, to come out with that law in the not law, but suggestion in the first place is pretty fucking ridiculous, bro. Because like, there's no like, as it current stands, you can't enforce any of this shit. So it was just like, right, bro, like, come on.
Also, it's mad confusing because last time I checked, damn, I almost wanted to say it like Nipsey.
Last time
that I checked, I was told that you could fucking still could still be contagious even if you have the vaccine. You just won't get sick yourself. Like,
yeah, dude, these CDC guidelines are wild.
Get them sick.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Like, it's wild, and it's like, it just seems that now that this is more lenient towards the right of people, like, see, we're fine, blah blah blah. It's like everyone's embracing this one more, as opposed like when it was like, you know, wear your mask, wear 2 masks. Everyone's like, nah, fuck that. That's bull. Like, I don't know, man. So like, again, I'm going to get it just from like my own selfish reasons. Cause again, dude, if I was living with my grandma, if I was exposing like, you know, if I had kids or some shit, if I was going to work every day, I totally get this, bro. But if this is really just for me, like not wanting to be freaked out. Like I went to play basketball today with fucking 9 other random human beings. What does that mean for me today? You know what I mean? So yeah, it kind of makes sense from that point of view.
Same. Yeah, I agree.
Cool, man. Well, let's get into it, bro. It was a good life update. But plenty of shit happened over the weekend. A lot of like dumb shit that I feel like I'm getting sick and tired of talking about. So maybe we'll leave it for our second topic. But I feel like the biggest thing this weekend was the J. Cole release, the off season. Dude, I'm gonna get into my reaction first because like I know you're like I'm gonna say a bigger J. Cole fan than me. I think we both respect him to like a very high degree. First of all, our prediction of him talking about Black Lives Matter was completely off. Like this motherfucker didn't address it at all, which again, in hindsight, like I kind of respect. He's like, bro, like I'm not gonna be moved by either way to be forced to put out anything I don't fucking want to talk about. Right. But dude, honestly, especially because like the KOD album that he dropped 2 years ago, like bro, I listened to that once and like respected it. But like it was just like whatever. Because for me, besides like Friday Night Lights, which was like fucking forever ago, like I feel like most of his CDs or albums are in things you like put the window down and fucking bump to like the fucking stereo break, right? It's like you listen to it, you respect it, you're like, wow, this guy's super fucking talented, and you keep it moving to whatever's gonna come out next. Mm-hmm. With this one, bro, like this one, I was like, bro, I wish I had a drop top. Like, bro, like I'm blaring this shit. Like it's from the jump with the 95 South with Cameron just talking shit to like the very last song. I feel like this is one album that's repeatable, catchy fucking phrases. It reminds me almost of like Andrew Schultz, the Netflix special, where like there's so many jokes that you need to like watch like 10 times to remember, like figure out what he said. I'm like, bro, he has so many clever one-liners in this fucking album. You have to like play this shit back to like, oh my God, did he like something the line where like I flipped the I like an like talking about like an exclamation mark. I was just like, bro, like how do you even think about this shit? So for me, this is like the first J. Cole album that I'm just like, bro, this was just like totally different from his other shit. And like, it just reminded people what he's capable of. So yeah, man, I fucking absolutely fucking love it.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I gave it a listen, obviously. I think I need to give it more listens to like have it really settle in. I hate making strong opinions like based on
this is this shit fucking
one
7 times,
quick
bro.
listen.
Seven times listens.
Nice. And I thought it was really good. I agree with you. I wasn't the biggest fan of KOD. And I think I'm still a bigger fan of his earlier works. And I came to the realization, I think this is like the case with me and all of like the greats, like when it comes to even Drake in some regard, or Kendrick, is once they've like reached that like elite legendary level, I feel like part of me is less excited to see what they'll come up with, or like I feel like I don't have as much to latch onto, because like when I first listened to J. Cole's when I was in college,
and like he was in college.
Yeah, he was in college,
right.
And I was like just an amateur rapper. I still am, but at that point I had literally just started rapping, maybe like 2 years in. And like I felt like I just connected with him, like almost as if he was speaking on my behalf. And
like
then,
a soundtrack to your life almost.
Yeah. And then over time they become so fucking like wealthy and just out of this world that, not that you can't relate to them, but like you just feel like they're almost like a distant relative or something, where like
got you
still love them, you still like want to tune in, but it's not like the old days when you guys were fucking living with each other and kicking it and
sure,
you know, on the same page, quote unquote.
Got that.
But I definitely have to listen to it.
Yeah,
again.
I think if you listen to some more, bro, and also watch the 15-minute documentary on YouTube, entitled as well, The Off Season. Like he shows like that again, this is obviously just marketing. Like he could be saying shit and we're gonna take it in. But there's videos of him even when he dropped Forest Hill, which I think was like 2014 or 2016, like still in like a fucking bedroom in Queens, New York, like recording there. And dude, by 2014, 2016, he was J. Cole. Like he had millions, you know what I mean? So it seems that he likes to humble himself a lot to still be true to the process. And I think if you watch the documentary, which again, it's only 14 minutes, so much content in such little time, you see that he went into that mindset again for this album. Like he treats hip hop like a 9 to 5. He was saying that he has kids now, so he built a studio at his house. And Pharrell told him like 5 years ago, like, yo, I go from the studio from 9 till whatever. And then when I'm home with my family. And he was like, bro, I'll never do that shit. And then when he had kids, he's like, bro, I'm not trying to be some deadbeat dad who's a millionaire but not around. So like, dude, he's like in the studio from like 9 to 6. And he dedicates that time just to fucking figuring out what can make sense. So I mean, that's pretty humbling.
J. Cole has kids?
Yeah, he has 2 kids.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I don't know shit about him now.
Yeah, he has 2 kids. I knew he had one because he mentioned his son in this album. But yeah, there was like an art that he had in the house. But yeah, bro, no, this is probably the most hyped I've ever been after a J. Cole run through, bro, because I'm telling you, dog, I've always been that guy. I'm like, oh, it's like I think like when conversations you and I have had about Mac Miller, where you're like, bro, I know this is good, but like I just whatever, you know, like I've always been that way about J. Cole. Like I'm not gonna front like I'm a stan. There's no way, bro. Like I'm telling you, since like whatever his first album was, like first actual release, where he had like the song with like Miguel and the song with Drake, like Hit in the Morning and all that, like that shit was hard to me. But everything in between, bro, just like, yeah, dude, I know it's good, but like, yo, I don't want to listen to it again. Like it's fine, bro. This one, I'm like, yo, run that shit back again and again and again, and then maybe it's just like it's sound that we've never heard from him, because he doesn't seem like he's trying to go over your head. He's like, all right, I know what kind of hip hop y'all motherfuckers like right now. I'm going to show you I'm the best at that as well. And dude, he has features. He fucking hit up our boy Amine for that fucking Can't Decide fucking beat. So like that, I feel like you and I were like, see, I knew that song was a fucking hit because like,
yeah.
Do you remember you were telling me that you like played that song for your girl? It's just like, yeah, it's whatever. And you're like, bro, this fucking song's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with you? Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And then she always does this. I'll play a song that I know is objectively dope. Like if you don't like it, you don't like music. And then she's like, yeah, whatever. And then I'll of course play it in the car like a week later. And she's like, oh, what is this song? Like, can you tell me the name? She does that all the time. And I knew this song, like as soon as you sent it, I was like 3 seconds in, I knew.
Oh, bro, Can't
that
Decide is 100%. And I love like, I clearly that J. Cole like sampled it. But like, you know how people sample shit but tweak it? Bro, he didn't tweak a thing to that beat. So you can tell that he was like, yo, I need to rap on top of this song. But the fact that he had features on this album too just shows that, yo, he gets it. So yeah, bro, I would give this like a fucking, this is a high fucking rating, bro. I would give this like a 9 out of 10. Like no lie. Like a 9 out of 10. Cause bro, it's good. Like it's good. And it just seems like someone who's like so very aware of where they lie in like what hip hop is. Like I feel like the other ones, maybe he's trying to prove himself, or he would say like, yo, I'm one of the greats, but like maybe not really believe it. Like this one was like, bro, I'm one of the greats, show you why. And then maybe if I don't put anything else out after this, I'm also okay with that. So
nice.
Yeah, highly recommend, bro. You play that shit back a few times.
So question for you, and I'll just get into it. Do you think J. Cole is better than Drake as a lyricist, not entertainer, not songwriter, but just bar for bar, like witty, clever bars?
I don't know, bro. This would be the only album that I would question that, because it is witty and clever like Drake is. But Drake has given us far more body of work of doing that, where this is really the first time I've ever heard J. Cole do this. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like previous shit is just J. Cole, like, being super lyrical to almost be lyrical. And I'm like, bro, like, I'm not going to repeat this line. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just not going to resonate in my head forever. Whereas I think this one is way more, again, to be corny, like Instagram caption worthy. You know what I mean? But like, this is the first time he's been that clever. So I would have to give the edge to Drake, because Drake has been that kind of rapper since day one. You know what I mean? Got it. But clearly this puts J. Cole in the, like, yo, like, if people had doubts that he shouldn't be in that Kendrick, Jay-Z realm, like, you're crazy. Like, this is, like, he clearly is that kind of rapper.
Yeah. I feel like, I feel like if you're a Drake stan, not you, but speaking generally, you 1,000% would say J. Cole is better than Drake. And if you're a Drake stan, diehard Drake stan, you're probably gonna ignore all of that and pay attention to like Drake's bodies of work and his consistency, and never, because I know Academic specifically on his live or something was saying how Drake has never like taken breaks, and he's just been consistent since day one, and that's why he gives him the edge over someone like a J. Cole or Kendrick who disappear for, well, I think he was more so talking about Kendrick, but disappearing for like 3-4 years and not putting out bodies of work.
Yeah, yo, I can see that. But yeah, I just feel like for the rap that, again, this is all so like subjective, bro. Like, but yeah, for the kind of rap that I enjoy, like Drake is way more of that than J. Cole is. Well, this is the first time, again, like, dude, I'm telling you, I have never played back a J. Cole album, like, ever, dog. Like, songs here and there, for sure. But I'm telling you, yo, 1 through 10, dude, no skips, no shuffle. Like, yo, that shit's over, play it back. Yo, like, this one is different. And again, it has a lot of that clever shit. Like, I don't know, like, if it must have been a conscious effort, bro. I feel like everything he does is so conscious. But, yo, there's so many fucking lines that are just so clever in this album, bro, where you have to hear it back like 4 or 5 times. You're like, oh my God, like, bro, like, how did you, I'm telling you, I wish I had like in front of me that line about I can flip an eye upside down and then he moves on. But then you realize, oh, he means like an exclamation mark. I'm like, bro, how did you even think of this stuff?
The same thing with that Mario bar, which I I clearly didn't listen carefully enough because that was like one of the more popular memes.
Yo, Luigi's head. He has a line which I'm probably gonna be a simp and like put it under my girl's picture one day. But it was like, I'm like a homeless man picking up dimes. I'm just like, bro, what is he? What is he doing? Yo, what is he doing? Like, yo, and it's like, it's 10 songs of just that, bro. Like it's bar after bar after bar after bar, and he just like it's all cohesive, but it's still like just so clever, dog. Like, so yeah, I have to. This again, Young Dolph and Key Glock have to take a step down. This is album of the year, like thus far. We're at the halfway point as well. So like. Again, I know him and Drake are boys, but this has to make Drake have to go back in the lab and just make sure this shit better be good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, guaranteed. Yeah, I was thinking that the other day because I know Drake posted a picture of Cole in his jersey, like playing in Rwanda
boys,
or whatever.
Bro. Like
yeah. And I'm sure they don't give a fuck about this whole Cole versus Drake thing because it's a blessing to even have that like Goku Vegeta rivalry,
and you're
or whatever
both
you want to call
fucking
it.
still kids. You know what I mean? Like I know we're old heads or whatever. But like you're 30, I'm 32, you're 31. Like bro, but we're children. You know what I mean? So like the fact these dudes are like 33, 34, like at this level is fucking insane. Like like we take a step back and just realize like these besides Jay-Z, who's like in 52 in a world of his own, like is a god, not even a goat, like is a god. Like bro, for the fact him, Kendrick, and J. Cole are this young and just at the top. And think if you take a step back, like 6 years ago, they were at the top and were like in their mid-20s. Like that's fucking nuts.
Still nuts to think about, yeah. Well, shout out to him. I mean, what were you gonna say?
No, yeah, it's just crazy. Like it's just crazy how you can be that. I guess we're seeing that now, like the Kid Leroys and Lil Babies, like being so young and so dominant, but. Yeah, dude, it's wild. These guys have been this young and are still this young and are at the top of whatever the bar is.
Because I know, we were in college. It feels like forever ago, but it really, in the grand scheme of things, wasn't that long ago. When you think about how much they've accomplished. Yeah,
dude. Like again, dude, I'm looking at my graduation picture right now. Like it was my 10-year graduation anniversary on Saturday or Sunday. And yeah, dude, 10 years ago, I mean, it does feel forever ago, but to your point, like, yeah, I was just, one job removed from my last, my previous job. I was 2 cars removed from my last, so yeah, it wasn't that long ago. And these guys went from dropping mixtapes to literally being the only thing that matters in hip hop when they drop an album.
Yep. Yeah, it's wild to think about.
So salute to them. Blair's gonna listen to the album a couple more times and have a better review for you next week.
Yes, sir.
So again, we'll get into the shit we don't want to talk about in a second, but I kind of want to keep the ball rolling on some like better content. So dude, I don't know. I think Maino, the rapper, who what was that song he had?
High Hater.
High Hater, yeah. High Hater. I've always known he's had a loose
all
cannon.
the above. That one with T-Pain too.
Exactly. So I always knew he had an aggressive temper because he this reality show on MTV, like they just followed him. Like this one like nerdy white dude just followed him like everywhere, and like he had a club appearance in New York, and like the white dude was just like, "Oh, but this is like all you do, like you're just clubbing and like not like making music," and like bro, he just choked the shit out of him, like Maino did, and I'm like, bro, this does not look rehearsed at all. Like that dude looked fucking terrified for his life. So. That being said, I guess Maino has a podcast and he invited B Dot on it, or I don't know if B Dot's on the podcast. We'll get more information. We'll add it to the fucking description, whatever. But they were going back and forth. I guess Maino dropped a song and then B Dot was critical of it, but Maino was pissed because B Dot and him will have like a personal relationship where like they're boys. Like, how's life? How are your kids? What do you need from me? What do you need from you? So this is intriguing to me, especially us in our predicament, right? Like you are an up and coming artist. You put out content. Up until now, I love everything you put out, right? But I was intrigued for us. So one, what side of this are you on, right? Like with the whole B Dot Maino thing. And then I'm just curious, like, how would it play out? Like, how would you prefer if I wasn't liking your next release, for example, that we go about being, the same way we would review anybody else? Like, how would you want that to play out?
Yeah. So just to clarify again, why or where did the criticism from B Dot come from? Like, did Maino ask, hey, like,
no, so I think it was on B Dot's own platform. He was talking about a recent drop, and then he was critical of it, that it wasn't some of Maino's best work, that kind of conversation.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I think this in general, like, goes back to my whole thing of it's not necessarily what you say, but how you say it.
Okay.
So, like, when it comes to my music, for instance, I know for a fact not everyone is going to like every song. That's just like how it's going to work. It doesn't matter. You can be Drake.
Yeah, no one with somebody. In basketball, like, people still, Steph Curry still misses 60% of his shots. You know what I mean? Like, no one's perfect.
Yeah. So I've always had that in the back of my mind. Like, you, my girl, my dad, like whoever might not like one of my new releases. But I think the only time I would take it the wrong way is if someone like proactively reached out to me and was like, yo, that song you dropped was trash. Or like before you release another one like this, like, let me know so I can, prevent you from embarrassing yourself or some shit. Like, if someone seemed like they're going out of their way to like completely shut it down, unless it was crazy, like I was just farting on a track for 5 minutes or something, then I would be like, all right, well, I didn't really solicit this like aggressive opinion. But if I sent you one of my songs on Instagram, was like, yo, I just dropped a new track, and you were respond and say, hey, this isn't one of my favorite works by you, but like, good shit, hope it does well. I wouldn't take that the wrong way, because like, who am I to force everyone to fucking be in love with everything that I do?
Right.
So I think Maino definitely was out of pocket for like flipping out like that. Maybe I could understand him being annoyed, because like,
dude, like I wish we had the content. Like, I don't, there's no way, bro. We've seen too many B Dot interviews. Like, I cannot see him like trashing the song. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure he just said, hey, this is not for me, blah, blah, blah. But I just feel like it had to be Maino just flipping out and saying, yo, how dare you not praise it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I think B Dot was like, bro, I'm not stupid. Like, I'm not, because I think he's like, yo, you're dumb for this. He's like, bro, I'm not dumb. But like, I'm not gonna, I feel like B Dot was very much leaning towards like, bro, I can't lie. Like, if someone's gonna ask me a question, I have to be honest. And even if that means like, I don't actually like it, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But there's no way
I definitely agree with that.
B Dot shitting on this, bro. Like, there's no way.
No. And in the past, I've even sent some shit to my brothers, and we'll be like, yo, what do you think about this hook or whatever? And like, sometimes they would be like, oh, like, it's dope. But I sensed they were just saying it just to say it. And like, if anything, that made me more annoyed, because I'm like, I want you to tell me this hook is trash. Actual feedback, you don't like it.
Yeah.
But I think at this point in time, I've gotten people to be more honest in advance. But like, once the song's out, it's out. Like, you can say it's not for you. You can say you love it. But like, if it's out, it's out. And I'm just going to move on to the next thing. I think, obviously you want people to be respectful, but I don't think B Dot was out of pocket based on what you sent me. Like,
yeah, right. Like, especially because he was like so calm, bro. Like, I've never like, yo, this dude's like literally, yo, Maino is losing his fucking mind. That's
why I was like, what happened? Like, because it seemed like a normal ass conversation on his side, but then Maino's screaming on the left side of the screen, and I'm just
and then you see whoever that girl is next to Maino, like, yo, like, yo, chill.
Yeah. It's crazy. But I feel like once you make it and you have a few hits under your belt, like the ego is just so astronomical that you really feel like you can't do any wrong with anything you do.
Yeah. And again, not to be judgmental, bro, but it just seems from afar, like, again, like, I don't think Maino has like ever tried to hide like his like gangster persona, right? I think he also has that like persona, like, yo, dog, don't ever say anything remotely negative about me ever, or I will fuck you up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to the core. So I feel like that also was coming out super aggressive, which again, just seems like unwarranted. One, when this guy's your friend, and then two, like, bro, if you're gonna be in the public eye, even people who you consider friends are still like able to make comments about what you're putting out to the public.
Yeah, as the Kevin Samuels fan base would say, he was being emotional, which is a female trait, and therefore he's not a real man. But I didn't say that. I'm just saying it is unfortunate to see like dudes not be able to swallow their pride and just take some criticism, especially if it's not disrespectful. If he spit in his face and was like, yo, this shit is garbage, kill yourself or whatever, fine, beat his ass or yell at him or whatever. But he didn't deserve a shouting match.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like we even brought this up with the Just Adam interview, or even like I think just like how it would play out. Like if whatever song in the future, like you send me that or we listen to, and like I give you like a reaction online for the first time you're hearing that feedback. Excuse me. Like I feel like it's all about like, bro, like nothing can be considered whack or amazing. It's just how I interpret it, like how the listener perceives it, right? Like there's mad shit, dude. Like fucking NBA Youngboy or Kodak Black. I can't stand Kodak Black's new album, but like, dude, that shit has phenomenal reviews. I'm
Drake
like,
even called him out and said like, yo, you're on another level.
Exactly, bro. And I played this shit like the first, dude, it's only like 7 songs. I played like the first 5 at the gym today. I was like, bro, put that J. Cole back on because this ain't it for me. But clearly it's not trash. Clearly it's not bad because other people like it. So I would just be like, yo, this like, I get what you were trying to do, but personally it's just not for me, this particular song, right? I feel like it's all about, like you said, your delivery, bro. Like it's fucked up to trash anyone in the craft they do because 1, you're not doing it. And 2, you also weren't there when like the thoughts going through their head to create that piece of artwork was, being made, right? Like in hindsight, even the artist may be like, damn, what the fuck was I thinking there? You know what I mean? But sometimes you get in a zone and sometimes that zone just leads you somewhere that you just happen to end up. And it's like, yo, I'm already here. Let me just fucking follow this through. But I think it's all about delivery, bro, because like I feel as long as it's like this isn't for me. I know you're a fucking dope artist. I'm looking forward to hearing more, but this particular track or album just, wasn't my cup of tea.
Yeah, I think that's a super valid response. And at the end of the day, people are going to take it personally because in most cases, the artist is being vulnerable. They're probably telling their life story or an experience and they're putting it on the track. And then if you were to come and be like, yo, this shit is trash, it's almost like hearing someone tell you that you're trash. I don't think most people speak like that in person or like if they're critiquing like their friend or whatever, but I think that's why people get super sensitive about it. And I feel like if you're an artist like Maino, who's like already established and stuff, like,
but is he though?
That's okay, not established,
thing.
But
I think like the reason, 1, I think he has that aggressive persona that I just mentioned, but I also think he leaves a lot to be desired and feels like a one-hit wonder.
Underrated.
Well, I think that his career has shown that he really just had one hit or maybe a couple hits on one album. And that's all as far as success, right? Success is different for everyone. Like, success is for us hitting 10,000 followers, right? He may kill himself if he lost all his followers and only had 10,000. So this shit's very like perspective wise, but I low-key, like the way he was being so aggressive, I think there was a lot of insecurity coming out, bro. And him saying, damn, dog, my own boy was like, this shit ain't it. And I've been trying to find it for like 7 years. You know what I mean? So that's how I took it as well, bro. I think there was a lot of insecurity in his approach because he was like, bro, like, I can't catch a fucking break anymore. Like, yo, I had this one hit, my first song out, and nothing really has happened for me since. Because, bro, like, when are we ever looking for a Maino feature or a Maino project, though? Like,
that's why I was like, when you sent me the link, I was like, this has to be something like very newsworthy because I hadn't really heard from him.
Why would we ever talk about Maino, bro? Like, that's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, he just has to like, so like whenever I put out a song, if I don't like it myself, then I'm not going to put it out. So that way, if someone were to say this is trash or whatever, like I know deep down, at least to me, it's not trash or like objectively, a good portion of people are going to like it. So that even if my girl said she hates it or likes my other shit, like it doesn't bother me. It's going to still bother you, like regardless. Someone could say this podcast is trash and like it could be a good friend of yours and you're like, fuck, well, now I feel attacked because it's like literally me speaking for an hour or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely stems from insecurity. I don't think there's any other reason why someone could get that upset if they deep down thought it was a good song or whatever.
Yeah. So again, it was good content. It was a 3-minute clip, but I think the best part was just how fucking relaxed B Dot was the whole time. He was just like, bro, like, yeah. I stand by what I said.
Yeah, there's no reason to get defensive.
Yeah, like, dude, again, that's the whole point. Like, if you actually believe what the fuck you said, even if you've proven to be wrong, you can apologize because, like, yo, my bad, dude. Like, that's how I felt. I genuinely think that to some level, Maino does not even like his own music being put out right now. And he was like, damn, even other people don't like it. And even my boy doesn't like it. So that had to fuck with his head.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Yeah, I want to talk about that because I feel like there could have been so many parallels between you and I. So I figured why not just bring it up on the pod.
Yeah, that was a good one.
But some other shit that's getting annoying, to be perfectly honest, about talking about every fucking week, it seems, bro. Lil Reese was shot at on Friday or Saturday this past weekend in north side of Chicago. I saw a bunch of the interviews, like the interviews they were doing of like people who live in the building. And even they were like, bro, we are so fucking tired of this shit. Like they weren't even like, and again, this is like, I think, again, I could be wrong, bro. But I think like the North, like it seemed like a very expensive luxury building. Yeah. So like the fact that people who live there are tired of this shit says a lot about just Chicago state in general. Because usually it feels like all this shit happens on the South Side. Like, yeah, they're always each other, Chirac, all that stuff. Like it seemed kind of wild that again, this luxury part of town that even they're like, bro, this shit happens all the fucking time. We're so over it. So what I couldn't decipher is like, what was the exact story of what went down? Because all I could see was like the people from the balcony up top, like filming when the cops got there. Bro, that wild fucking video that you found online of like Reese legit bleeding out with like a cop like calling an ambulance and like a woman filming it saying, you get what you fucking deserve, blah, blah, blah. So like, bro, that visual is insane in itself. But what exactly happened? Was it a carjacking? Was like
a lot of this information is still alleged, but the recurring story that I kept seeing was that I guess Lil Reese was buying weed from a couple dudes, and the dudes had stolen a car, and the owner tracked the car down and found them in the parking lot, and basically they got into an altercation, and it obviously led to them shooting these guys. And one of the guys got shot. I saw like a hole in his cheek. Reese got shot up. He was in and out of consciousness, like eyes all like rolled back and shit. Some people think Lil Reese may have stolen the car. That's why like some people are making fun of him, like, yo, what are you doing stealing cars, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if he even knew the car was stolen. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But that's why they got shot, was because the owner tracked them down.
Got it. Yes, from what I saw from the comments was like, then it became an exchange of bullets, like back and forth. I don't know where I think Reese got grazed in his head with a bullet.
Yeah, he got grazed in the eye and maybe in the head as well.
Yeah, dude, I saw the guy with like the hole in his cheek.
Yeah, like, and he was just talking like he got punched.
Yo, wild, dog. Like, yo, insane, dog. Like that shit had me like so sad and like yo, disappointed in like just human beings. Like, I'm mad at the woman who felt the need to fucking record that shit. Like, I'm mad that these dudes are always like seen getting into alteration. Like, this is like the second, like, I think this is the second time like in 2 years he's been fucking shot at. So clearly, like, again, maybe he had no involvement in this one, but like, bro, like, you're putting yourself in a situation you probably shouldn't be in. Like, even the video of him in 6ix9ine, like, he pulls out a fucking gun in the IG live just to like kind of prove a point. It's like, bro, like, what are you fucking doing? Like,
yeah, it was, so like when I saw the headline, I felt like I was desensitized to it. I was like, oh, I kind of expected something like, if there was any group of rappers I would expect to get shot, it would be like the ones who are about that life. But then seeing the actual live footage of him bleeding out and shit and having someone posting that, I was just like, holy shit, like I think
It's
reality
like
set in.
Yeah, it's like a fucking
like a
human,
human
bro.
being whose life looks like maybe gone in any second based on the video, because he's just like huffing and puffing on the ground. The cops,
Bro, and if you saw, like,
he
was behind, he was up against a building, like, I guess, like, you know, buildings have like barriers, like the random poles. Like, bro, he was like stuck in between it. So, you know, you only fall that way if you legit have, like, you know, that this doesn't happen, bro. Like, you have to be slumped and just like, bro, that shit was horrible to watch, bro. Like, horrible.
And it made me sad to like realize and think of how many songs, and he's part of them, kind of glorify or at least promote you know, this whole message of, you know, shooting and killing, you know, the ops and whatever, as if it's just some regular shit. And then when you see them actually bleeding out in cases like this, granted it didn't seem like it was gang related, but it just made me question like how we got to this point to where we like almost celebrate it.
That's like, it's almost like what's wrong with us kind of a thing. Yeah, dude. Bro, I'm telling you, like, I went back just like doing the research tonight. Like, I went back to watch the video you sent me like an hour ago, and I was like, bro, this is awful, bro. Like, again, I mentioned to you offline, but like, it reminds me of the XX thing, bro. Because I remember when he died, no one believed that shit, right? We're like, oh, he's faking his death again, because he has that one music video where like he's like hanging himself, and it's just part of the video. So everyone's like, oh, this is a fucking stunt. And no, bro, this was a kid shot in the fucking head in his BMW, and people have their phones just like, and it's like, bro, what is wrong with you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so that's the thing. I don't get how people just like I want it's like a murder has taken place, and the first thing they want to do is fucking like post it. Like, that's what's wild to me, dog. Like, that part, even though, like, again, I'm mad at these people for fighting. I'm mad that they have like no value in human life, that they're like the first thing they do, like, yo, altercation, yo, I'm shooting, and whoever gets popped, like, that's, again, like, they deserve their own hell. But like, I feel like the innocent bystanders in this that just like, oh, I'm just filming it. I'm like, bro, but why, bro? Like, what are you gonna do with that video? Like, just because you're posting it, you might get 1,000 likes or whatever, or you're gonna save that on your phone for what, to look at in the future? Like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure some of the people in these instances are like, might be doing it to use as evidence to like give to the cops. I'm sure that in most cases it's not that. But I think what's even worse is the people, like when academics or whatever will post it, the people in the comments who are like, Reese got shot up, check my story, blah, 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 check my page for like pictures of his body and stuff like that. Like when other people were shot and killed, like King Von, like a picture of his dead body on my page. Like, that's just so sickening to me. Like, you're really desperate for like maybe 20 follows because you fucking have a picture of someone's dead body. Like, that's just crazy. It shows you how far we've gone in terms of this whole game of like attention seeking.
Dude. And it's just like, even the lady who was filming it was like, that's what you get. I'm like, what exactly did he get? Like, why would you wish that on anyone? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man.
I think she was if I'm not mistaken, I think she might have been the owner's girl or friend or something.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
Or maybe just an evil bystander who heard what happened and then was like, fuck you.
Yeah, I don't know, man, but that shit, I mean, from what I've read, all three of them are alive and are in stable condition. All the three guys who got shot. So again, hopefully it stays that way. No one dies of this. Lessons are learned, and maybe they move differently. But fuck, bro. Like, yo, that shit was like, again, I know we're low-key desensitized to it, but seeing that video just makes it like, yo, like, we forget like these artists on these songs are still human beings. So either you should question why they feel so comfortable talking about shooting people up, or you should remember on the other side of it, these people getting shot up are also fucking human beings who, like, you know, may not make it home, may not see their kids, may see their family ever again. Like, that shit sucks.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, I don't know how many people are gonna use this as a lesson in any way, just because, I mean, this happens, like you said, like every other week. So
every other week we're talking about this shit, bro. I feel like it was, because the first video I posted from editing was the King Von one. You know what I mean? Like, that was just a week and a half ago. So yeah, bro, this shit, again, hopefully no one dies from this, and hopefully lessons learned, but I doubt it. I know there's one more thing you wanted to bring up in reference to Snoop Dogg, because you brought up comments. Snoop Dogg's daughter kind of being bullied in the comments, so kind of give the people an idea of what happened.
Yeah, essentially Snoop Dogg's daughter posted on Instagram this message about, how she struggled with mental health issues, how she was suicidal as a teenager because kids would call her ugly and dark. And for those who aren't aware, her complexion's like much darker than Snoop's. I believe it's closer to Snoop's wife.
She looks more like her mom, but darker. Yeah.
And she would cry to her mom saying like, why did you even create me? Like, she hates the way she looks and stuff. And towards the end of this kind of monologue or whatever, she basically said like, she transitions to talking about how she's content with life even though she only drives a Toyota Corolla. And she's like, I'm not gonna lie, when I first had a Toyota Corolla, I looked at my dad like really, this is the best you could do. But then she like realized with time that these material objects don't really mean a whole lot. And of course the fucking blogs and stuff take that one snippet, and that's how they got me, was basically making it look like she was suicidal because of only driving a Corolla. Of course, like, you'd be an idiot if that's what made you want to kill yourself. But I looked at the comments, and even with the full context, maybe some of these people didn't watch the video actually, but
100%, that's what happened.
Yeah. And they fucking started bashing her, saying, you're a clown, like, how dare you, I can't pay my bills, but you can, and this and that.
Yeah, living rent free, everything's free for you, and you're mad about a car or some shit.
Yeah. And that kind of reminds me of what we were talking about with like the whole Big Sean thing and his mental health issues, and
for sure
how money can't buy you happiness. It can to a certain extent, but like once your bills and shit are covered, like there's a whole other realm of issues that you could be dealing with in life. Otherwise, rich people would never kill themselves, and celebrities do that shit all the time. And I don't think any of these people in the comments, if they did watch the full video and make these comments, they've never experienced being bullied or treated like shit for just existing and the way they look or sound or whatever they believe in.
They might have though, because they always say like it's like the people who get like raped as kids end up being rapists when they get older. So like they might have been like the people who were bullied in real life and like feel so much tougher to retaliate in the comments and like return that energy to the world,
Or they were bullied and they're like, well, I'd rather be bullied with money than be bullied and working a regular ass job. So that may be the case, but I feel like people overestimate how much happiness like money can buy. Like once you reach a certain point and you're like financially independent, you can't just fucking throw $1 million at all your problems if the problems you have nothing to do with money.
Yeah, dude. Like I can buy fucking the most expensive pair of fucking Travis Scott sneakers. I still have the same issues mentally I had the day before, Yeah. But question was, she's still a teenager now though, right?
I think she's still a teenager, but not like 13. I think she's probably like 18 now or something. But that's when I think her suicidal issues like really started to mess with her, if I remember correctly from the article.
Yeah, dude. It just, again, it kind of goes back to what we were just talking about with the Lil Reese thing and like the people recording it. Like it's sad when you see people, crying out for help. And it's taken in a negative way, right? Like it just assumed like, oh, you should be, who cares what you look like? You're a millionaire's daughter. Like life is good for you. It's like, the fuck? Like, bro, like I can't have issues. Like just like rehab centers and like therapists are only for the poor. Like get the fuck out of here. It's like,
right.
Again, but the people who make these comments, bro, they have such deeper issues, bro. Like they're the ones, bro. Like think about it. Like think how like crazy you have to be. Like, again, speaking for myself, I'm gonna talk for you. You can jump in. But like we engage with our comments for a multitude of reasons. Like, we're grateful we have listeners. So like, appreciate the feedback or thank you for tuning in. And we also know how this works, right? If we start commenting more, the algorithm sees it, more people will comment. Like we also get this from like a business standpoint. Like, bro, how fucking weird you have to be and fucked up mentally that a child can post some shit and you want to jump in and just destroy them for no reason besides I want to destroy them. Like, that's wild, dog. Like, what do you gain out of that, bro? Because like people are doing this shit on like their normal YouTube account or normal Instagram. It's not a fucking like, you know, bot or some shit. Like, this is like you go to their avatar, it's like a normal fucking human with like 20 followers or whatever, and just wants to be a fucking terrible person for like 10 seconds. So like you already have to be low-key kind of fucked up to be in these comments spewing hate. Cause I'm like, bro, like how do you stop your day to do that? Like that's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's wild. And I don't think I've literally ever gotten to a point where I was like, let me just flame this random celebrity to this degree and like say the most absurd shit just because I'm having a bad day. Like,
because you want to get the most like retweets or like the most likes in the comments. Like, that's wild, dog. Like, I don't know, because I don't know. I always feel like the shit you put out, and it sounds corny, but it's what I believe. Like, the shit you put out is what you can get back, bro. Like, so even if you're like, you think it's funny for a second, like, you still put out some fucking hateful ass shit that like is gonna come back to you in some way, like in some way. So yeah, like I don't. It's a crazy world, dog. Like, yo, like it is crazy out here, bro. Like, dude, the weekend after you left, there was a fucking shooting at a mall, like only like 10 miles away on Mother's Day weekend. On Mother's Day weekend, bro. So people, and this mall has a lot of fucking really good restaurants. So you know, people were taking their moms out that weekend to like either go shopping for them or take them out for a great meal. And like, bro, you can't even go to the malls just fucking open. And you can't even go to the mall on Mother's Day, which should be the fucking holiest of all days, to relax your mom. A fucking mall gets shot up, 4 people dead. I'm like, bro, what the fuck, dog? Like, yo, this shit is wild. So that's why, like, dude, like, I really like on like a higher degree now. I'm always like, yo, I love you to all my people. Like, I always embrace them before they leave because I'm like, bro, like, on some real shit. Like, I don't know when the next time is I'm gonna see someone. So like, this shit just crazy.
Yeah, for the first time, like when I was at the bar a few nights ago, I was with my friend and like there was like a crazy 5 minutes where I was just like super paranoid. I was just like, I don't know. I think I saw like a dude with a backpack and then another dude who like kind of looked shady. And then I just got in my head and was like, literally, I know the odds are low, but like I could end up in a situation where that crazy motherfucker who's trying to do something just so happens to be at the same place at the same time. And then I was just thinking about that.
I mean, I think this, again, I'm definitely wrong with the stats, but not far off, bro. There's been a mass shooting in America every single week this year. I think it's like every day, to be honest, but I'm gonna just go with week just to make us not sound like fucking the worst people in the world. But even that in itself, bro, there's been a mass shooting every single week this year is fucking terrible. You know what I mean? Like what's sad is like what I told you why we named the episode Summer Heat is that all my friends who are cops or Marines, like they say this is going to be one of the worst summers because people are itching to get out and like have been cooped up and are in a bad mood from that. So like are trigger happy, bro. Like no pun intended. Like, yo, like you fuck with me the wrong way, bro. Like we're ending shit right now. So yeah, man, shit's wild, dog. So that's why I always try to move safely. Like I low key, like just go where I know, like now you're not gonna know everyone there. Like we went to like 1-800-LUCKY in Miami, but dude, we go with our group of people. We're 7 people, like in our own corner. We're not really mingling. We're just there observing, you know, let's be safe about this shit. Cause again, bro, shit can pop off anywhere. And like, yo, we're all trying to have a good time. Like, yo, I'm not trying to deal with this shit right now.
And the worst part is like half the time the people who are getting shot up and shit weren't even like the intended target. Like, yo, it's always the mom and her 3-year-old and the old man at the bus stop is never the fucking asshole who like started this shit or whatever.
Yeah, right. And then he gets off on some fucking technicality and then he's back out on the streets like in a fucking week. Yeah. So yeah, definitely everyone stay safe out there. And to all the fucking cornballs like trolling little girls and people online, relax, bro. Look in the mirror, see what the fuck's going on. One thing, because I know we're both excited about concerts, before we jump into Heat of the Week, dude, I just saw this thing and sent it to you like an hour before we jumped on. So I guess Lil Durk was doing a show he swears, he's like, yo, I get paid $200K a show. I cannot put on a bad performance for my people. Dude, he had like 50 dudes behind him, and I guess they were low energy the entire time. And yo, he grabbed the mic, turned the music off, and was like, yo, I need all y'all to get the fuck off stage because y'all not doing anything for this show. And bro, I applaud that 1,000% because bro, I remember being that kid who would like save up all their fucking lunch money and allowance to go watch concerts. And it was one dude and 70 dudes behind him just fucking yelling and adding ad libs that weren't even in part of the song. And I'd be like, bro, like, why the fuck did I come to this show, right? That's why I really appreciate Rolling Loud. I appreciate the way Jay-Z and Kanye, you know, put on shows now because they set the standard. It's like, bro, like, these people didn't come to see y'all. They came to see me. So let me put on a show and stay the fuck backstage so you don't fucking ruin this for the fans. So yeah, I applaud Lil Durk 1,000% for this.
Yeah, I thought that made a whole lot of sense. I never understood like why dudes need 1,000 people on stage. Like, you know, that meme, I think Snoop and some other pages posted it, but it was like, it said like rappers be saying, have a song called Trust Nobody, and they have like 5,000 people behind them.
Lil Durk has 1,000 Trust Nobody. And he's fucking...
Yeah. I mean, I know it's a little different. Like, obviously that's like his literal gang and family, but the only thing that concerned me about the video was like, what if one of these dudes takes it the wrong way, like, and says, now I don't really fuck with him. How dare he like disrespect me? Because in my mind, I'm like, yeah, there's 50 people on stage, maybe 48 of them like are ride or dies, but are you gonna convince me that every single fucking one is gonna not screw you over for a bag? Like, that's what concerns me when I see shit like this. I'm like, all it takes is one fucking Judas to throw this whole operation down.
Yeah, it's a good point. I didn't even think that way, but you're right. I mean, I just know like Lil Durk kind of like moves right now, like he's the king of Chicago, so like I can't see anyone in his crew. But you're right, it usually is the people in your crew who kind of like go against you in the end. But as far as the act of like, yo, like you're offering no value, you're bringing me down, get off stage, like I don't give a fuck if that shit was in public. Like, bro, I support that 100% and really just hope more rappers just stop doing it. Bro. Like, yeah, I feel like a lot of them weren't doing that for a while. But yo, like that's like, dude, like I hate to fucking sound like this, but like that's what I hated about rap concerts the most growing up, bro. I'm like, bro, like the audio's already terrible, bro. So I'm like, I don't really hear you well. And I got fucking 40 people just yelling for no fucking reason.
And like, they're all hammered because they're not performing. So they're
wasted.
Yeah.
So I'm like, bro, I used to like, and my mom used to hate letting me go to shows. Like, yo, like those are the people who start shit afterwards or during. So like, no, you're not going. And I'm like, in hindsight, yeah. So yeah, like I'm all for this, and I really hope people just start, you know, taking the Jay-Z route, like, or you know, like, yo, this is an art form, dog. Like, you don't see fucking Billy Joel bringing out fucking 15 of his friends just to fucking stand in the background while he plays fucking piano, man. You know what I mean? Like this is not happening anywhere else. So like, I'm all for it, though.
For sure. That kind of reminds me of there's this one video of YG, and he's performing in like Arizona, I think Phoenix, and he doesn't have nearly as many, but he's got at least like 5-6 people on stage, and most of them aren't like saying anything. They're just there like to be his entourage, and there's some like I guess alleged gang members in the crowd, or maybe just hecklers who like wish they were from a gang. But like in the middle of his performance, I guess one of the dudes in the crowd like throws up a sign, and YG gets upset and then starts like puts the mic down and starts throwing up his signs, and they're starting to throw water and shit at him. And then they play, and then YG's like, put on that Chief Keef or some shit, and then it plays I don't like, and in the crowd, the dudes that were like fighting with him are singing it, and YG's crew's singing it too. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
happened?
Do you guys hate each other or not? If not, like, I mean, if so, like, why the fuck are you there to antagonize him? Why are you on stage fucking responding to people in the crowd? Like, it was just a weird situation. That it kind of reminds me of what the whole Maino thing, like just this macho shit that gets people killed over nothing.
Over nothing, dog. Over nothing. So yeah, let's all be smart out there, especially this summer, because I feel like, again, depending on where you're at, you could be in a really bad situation pretty quickly. So everyone, myself, you, family, friends, listeners, just be safe out there. But we are going to be outside, and being outside means we need some heat. So, my dude, what is your heat of the week for this episode?
My heat of the week, I wasn't going to choose the same one as you, but I'm pretty sure I know what you're going to choose. I sent this song to you a few days ago by this artist named Achal, Achal, all caps.
The Peruvian rapper.
Yeah, the Peruvian dude. Song's called High Horse. He's one of those like budding artists that like has a bunch of songs with like not necessarily A-list, but like up there artists like Gunna and people like that. So
and I saw Post Malone fucks with him, St. John fucks with him. Like, yeah. So he's like one of those artists. Probably 2 years from now, like everyone's gonna fucking know him. But the song was super dope. Probably my favorite of his, called High Horse. And I think his vibe. What I like about him as an artist is I feel like I can't really get his music elsewhere. He's not like a clone, different, so to speak. Yeah,
it's different. So that's why I fuck with that song heavy, or his career in general and the catalog. So definitely check that out if you guys haven't had a chance to tune into his music.
Nice. We'll definitely add that to the playlist. I got to add last week's too. I fucked up there. For me, dude, I got obviously the one is going to be J. Cole. I know you already know that. And then an honorable mention is like an artist I've never heard about before. My boy put me on, and I just started going through his catalog. But 95 South, definitely going to be on the playlist. J. Cole featuring Cameron. Cameron's not singing or rapping, but just him talking shit on a record is just everything, dog. Because it kind of reminds me of I posted a clip on my own page of his recent interview on Drink Champs. And like the conversation was like, Nori asked him like, yo, did you ever feel like a moment you were in Hollywood? And he was like, bro, I was Hollywood before Hollywood. And he's like, yo, he said, the line was like, yo, he's like, I talked to myself in the mirror for 10 minutes just to remind myself I'm that nigga. And I was like, bro, if everyone had this confidence every day, bro, we will all be gazillionaires, bro, because holy shit. Like, and I believe him, right? And like, there's no other reason that if J. Cole didn't believe that about Cameron, there's no reason he would be on this fucking, the first song on an album that may be his last ever album. So like all of that behind it, and the song is fire, and it has probably the most punchlines out of any song on the album. So 95 South, J. Cole with the, the skits of Cameron are fire. Like, I think Cameron has a line like, don't check your watch, you know what time it is. I was like, bro, like, yo, this shit is crazy, dog.
If I ever caught myself talking, hyping myself up for 10 minutes straight, I would low-key be afraid I'm like low-key a psychopath.
Yo, but that's the thing, bro. I feel like kind of like that line that Kanye always uses, like, what name me a genius that isn't crazy. I feel like at some times, like, maybe, I'm not trying to talk to you for you, but like maybe I'm too normal. You know what I mean? Like, I really think that sometimes, like, maybe I'm too conservative. Maybe like, yo, I don't really want to do that, bro. Like, it sounds a little reckless, or I don't really want to think that way because it seems a little bit crazy. But then everywhere I look, all these gazillionaires are some of the fucking craziest dudes.
Nuts.
They're nuts. So sometimes I'm like, yo, maybe I have to start doing this shit because I'll be having wild thoughts soon. I feel like I suppress them. So I don't know, maybe we'll get a different version of me of the second part of the year. But honorable mention, I thought it was a group, but it's not. It's just one dude. It's I don't know if you ever heard this guy called JMSN. And I might be butchering this. I don't know if it's like meant to be pronounced as one word or just the
like Jameson or some shit. Jameson.
Yeah, maybe. But it's one dude. He has a great catalog, dude. Super funky. Like, he plays every instrument. The shit is like vibey as fuck. So when I'm telling my girl right now, when we go to fucking Mexico, this is all I'm fucking playing for the entire trip. He has a new song that just came out last week called Rolling Stone. Bro, vibey as fuck. Like, this is like the lights you have in the background, something rolled, and just like, bro, like, yo, like the Bart Simpson gif where he's just like, like, yo, like, yo, this is all you're gonna fucking feel when you play this song. So
yeah, definitely send it to me.
Yeah, I'll put it on the playlist as well. But if you're anything relaxing and you want to get in a relaxing mood, JMSN is definitely a vibe. One dude, apparently, white dude, but he actually has somewhat of a Justin Timberlake vocal sound, but taking way bigger risks as far as like things he's saying and like beats he produces. So,
word, looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Great episode. Great conversation. Love that about us. Let the people know where to check us out and what we got coming up.
Yes, sir. Check us out at audio-theory.com. We're on all major streaming platforms. And if you'd like to check out the Heat of the Week selections, we have both the Spotify and Apple Music playlist updated weekly. So tune into that. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, donate as well. We're also in the midst of working on some merch ideas. We don't have like an actual release date at this point, but be on the lookout for that.
You're gonna see a
really
day
dope.
that we're both like wearing the merch and like, all right, bro, this is where you go buy this shit. Like,
yeah,
support
for sure. So looking forward to that. We just got to figure out the designs and stuff, but so far so good.
Awesome, my dude. Well, I love you, my guy. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll be in touch. And yeah, man, peace. Love you.
Peace.